One of the best decisions that I ever made in my 10 years as an entrepreneur is building my first funnel. And honestly, if I had to go back, I wish I had done it so much sooner than I did. That first funnel not only doubled our business revenue after being stuck at what felt like $2,000 months for so long. But more importantly, to me at least, is that first funnel is what allowed me to take a 3-month maternity leave as an entrepreneur, which, as you know, if you don't work as an entrepreneur, the state's not paying you, your employer isn't paying you. And that first funnel is what allowed me to not only take a maternity leave with my oldest daughter when she was born, but also bring in over $30,000 in revenue during those 3 months and continue to serve people through our business that I would never have been able to do during that time off. If you're new here, hi, I'm Jordan. I'm an entrepreneur of over a decade. And more importantly, I'm a mom who really wants to do work I love without sacrificing my more important calling as a mom. And over the past 7 years, funnels have completely changed how I do business and has allowed me to build a very life-first business that allows me to mostly stay at home and homeschool and travel with my family. And since building my own funnel 7 years ago, I have built dozens of funnels across so many different niches and industries and really gone behind the scenes in so many different kinds of businesses. And I'm here to tell you that a funnel can work for your business and that your first funnel doesn't need to be perfect. My first funnel was not fancy. It was hodgepodge together, but I had a really solid strategy and a plan, and one big difference: I actually launched it. And that is what changed everything for us. And it's why I'm so passionate about helping others build their own funnels in their businesses. Because like I said, my first funnel was far from perfect, but it worked. And because I launched that first funnel, I have learned and grown so much, and I've created so much more freedom, not just in my business, but in my life too. But I also know how much time I wasted overthinking funnels, overthinking the strategy, getting overwhelmed by all the tech, and just knowing that it was going to take so much upfront work just to launch it. I never prioritized it. I spent years putting it on my list, but not actually prioritizing it because I was staying so busy working in my business and serving clients, which is great, but I didn't prioritize working on my business and putting these systems and funnels in place that would ultimately allow me to serve people better and be a better steward of my time and talents. So after a few years of procrastinating, honestly, I had a positive pregnancy test in the fall of 2018, and that is what finally forced me to build my first funnel. We were booked out at the time with coaching clients and one-on-one services, and I knew that I didn't want to keep working the way that I was once my daughter came in 9 months. So it put a very real deadline for me to actually do the thing I said I wanted to do for years. So if this is you, if you have any of these same fears, or you've held yourself back for any of these same reasons, like the overwhelm, the strategy, the tech, or just not prioritizing time working on your business, then I hope that this video encourages you and maybe even gives you the extra push you need to actually build your dang funnel in 2026. And if you're ready to finally stop overthinking funnels and actually build your funnel this year, then you're going to want to make sure that you come to my live training where I'm going to walk you through your exact plan to make this happen in the next 90 days. Okay, let's map out how to make 2026 the year that you build your funnel. Okay, so the first thing you want to do before you ever build a funnel is to define the goal of your funnel. And in funnel terms, that's actually the bottom stage. We're going to start at the end in mind and think about what the conversion is. So what do you want to sell in this funnel? It can be a service, it can be a digital product. There's a lot of different ways that funnels can look, but you want to know what that core offer or service is going to be and get really clear on the main goal. What is that final conversion that you want them to take at the end? You actually need to start with that first because the entire funnel is going to be built off that goal. Essentially, an evergreen funnel is just an automated customer journey. You're taking your customer on a journey from becoming aware of you to considering your offer to building that know, like, and trust to showing them exactly how you can help them and the transformation that you can provide to getting them to buy, to work with you or learn from you. And so we want to make that process or our funnel as simple and clear as possible. And that starts with knowing what your one goal is. You want to make it really simple. Your funnel is the focused path that you want to lead your customer or lead on. Your first funnel is not going to be your full-blown business ascension model, everything working together. I'll get to that in a minute. But when we're starting with your first funnel, the way that you're actually going to launch it is to keep it simple, keep it focused, and have a really solid strategy. And that all starts with knowing what your end goal is. The next thing you're going to want to do to build your funnel is to map out your strategy or your plan. Now, there are a lot of different ways to build funnels, and there's not necessarily a right or a wrong way. The strategy that's best for you is going to depend on what your offer is, who your audience is, what their needs or desires or the transformation that you're promising is, how you deliver that transformation. There's a lot of factors here to think through to determine what the top of funnel freebie is. Are you going to have a webinar? Is it going to be live or evergreen or replay? Are you going to have a challenge? Are you going to run it on evergreen, which means it's always running? Evergreen trees are always in bloom. That's where the term comes from. Or is it something that you're going to tweak and repeat and live launch? Is it going to get people to actually make a purchase, or is it going to get people to fill out an application or do a discovery call with you? So as you can see, there's a lot of different ways that your funnel strategy can look. And so it makes sense why we would feel overwhelmed trying to determine which one's best for us. And if you are confused, definitely hop on to the free training that I mentioned before, and we'll start to work through some of that and help you figure out the right funnel strategy for your business and your offer and your audience. So while every funnel is going to have a clear goal, you also want to have a clear entry point, and we think about that as the top of the funnel. So if your goal is the bottom, your entry point is your top of funnel. You might know this as your freebie, your opt-in. This is the awareness stage of your funnel. And this is where someone is entering your funnel for the first time. It's really important what you pick as your top of funnel lead magnet, because it has to make sense to lead people really naturally to the solution of your end goal of what you want to sell them at the bottom of your funnel. And then in the middle of the funnel, that is the consideration phase. And honestly, this might be my favorite part. This is where the nurturing and the serving and yes, the automated selling all happens. And I put that last because a really good funnel, it's not this like sell, buy from me or else, and this timer's going to go out. Your email sequence that happens in the middle, its job is to really clearly communicate what your expertise is, who you serve, how you serve them, so that your audience can decide if this is for them or not. It should make the decision really easy for them by attracting the right people, repelling the wrong ones, building know, like, and trust, establishing yourself as an authority and as an expert, and really nurturing them in a natural way so that your sale doesn't even feel like selling. It feels like, hey, this is exactly what you need. And they're thinking, yes, this is exactly what I've been looking for. And so once you know those three pieces, you're going to want to visually map out what your funnel strategy is going to be. And the last thing that you're going to want to do to launch your first funnel is to build it as an MVP. Now, if you haven't heard that term before, it just means your minimal viable product. And in this case, a minimal viable funnel. Now, funnels can absolutely grow into these super fancy ecosystems with upsells and downsells and cross-sells and bump offers. And I love geeking out about that and how to make them more profitable and how to make all the different offers in your business come together and really have an ascension model. But if you try to do all of these things out of the gate with your first funnel, you're never going to launch it, which means not only is it not going to work for you, but you're also not going to get the data and learn, and you're going to spend all this upfront time and energy and probably money building something that you don't know if it works yet. Whereas if you build this MVP version of a funnel, this minimal viable version that gets your offer out there, that brings leads through the funnel, that starts to see conversions, then you can learn from that data. You can start to test a new opt-in and see which one works better. You can add a bump offer, or you can add an upsell once you realize your customers are all asking for the same things. That's actually exactly how my email sequence templates came to be, is I was helping people build funnels and they all kept getting stuck on, well, what do I write in the emails? And then they would just hire me to write their emails instead for them. And I saw this problem so many times that I created my nurture sequence email templates so that you could write your own emails and know exactly what to write in less than a day and not get so hung up on the step. But I only learned that and I only created that because I had a more MVP funnel running and I was getting that feedback and those requests from my customers. And so it was a really no-brainer product for me to create. I knew they needed it, and it was a really easy addition to add to my funnel once my base funnel was already working and running. And so if you hear anything from this video, I really want to stress to you to give yourself permission to just launch your first version, to know that your funnel does not need to be perfect to work. Yes, the tech all does need to work together, but you can tweak, you can test, you can optimize, and you should do all of that, right? A funnel does take way more upfront work to create and a lot less to run and manage, But if you're running your business well, you want to be optimizing your funnel and optimizing your offers and auditing them to make sure that they're working as best as they can. And so my challenge for you, if you are sitting here wanting to launch your first funnel in 2026, is to do it messy, just get started and launch the first version, and be okay with the idea that your funnel is going to be an evolving process in your business. What matters more is that you get it done and that it's live and that it's running, right? That's how you're going to learn what's working and what's not. And if it's helpful for you, you can certainly hire people to help you with parts of the funnel. You can join a program like Your First Funnel where I walk you through every single step of the process. You can use things like the templates that I mentioned. Any of these tools that are going to help you build faster, that are going to help you learn how to fill your funnels and help you work smarter and not harder, utilize them. But my main point here is that your funnel doesn't have to be perfect. It's not perfect funnels that help people. It's done funnels that help people, right? It's live funnels that help people, not a funnel that's half built across all these different platforms and essentially just like 5 different half built bridges, and you're not seeing any of them to completion. That's not helping you, and that's not helping your customers. But a done funnel, a funnel that's live, is going to help them. And it's going to help you build a life first business to be able to steward your time and talents well and to get back more of your time, not just in your business, but in your life too. Okay. So to recap, all you need to finally build your funnel in 2026 is a clear offer, a simple but solid strategy, and the courage to build it messy and figure it out as you go. Because if you actually launch your funnel, even if it's not perfect, that's when you can really leverage your time and stop trading time for money and start to put these systems and funnels in place. That's when you're going to get more margin in your life and in your business. That is what funnels have done for me. That is what they've done for my clients, my students, and that's what I would love for them to do for you too. If you want to learn more about my signature strategy and how I can help you build your first funnel in 2026, be sure to sign up for my free workshop where I can walk you through the exact plan of how you can build and launch your first funnel in just 90 days. I would love to help you build your first funnel off your 2026 goals list, especially if it's been on there for a few years now. So be sure to sign up for that workshop. Thanks so much for watching today, and I'll see you in the next video.